Hey, Brett Curry here. Welcome to the 7 Musts for Marketing in a Recession. Today we're talking about must number 4. Now this is a must or a principle that I see a lot of businesses neglecting and overlooking, and to their detriment. And I see companies of all shapes and sizes that fail to excel at this principle. And we're going to talk about it now because if you master this, then really good things can happen. Now, as I bring up these two old pictures, many of you will immediately recognize this gentleman. Others of you will be scratching your head and wondering what I'm doing here. But this is arguably the most famous, well-known, most loved NFL football coach of all time. This is the man that won Super Bowls 1 and 2, and he coached the Green Bay Packers, and then also for a year coached the Washington Redskins. And if you haven't figured it out already, this is the famous Vince Lombardi. He was a man who was loved by his players. He got fantastic results. He was a great motivator and a great leader and an extremely hard worker. Lots of great quotes from Vince Lombardi if you ever want to look that up online. But Vince was a stickler about one thing in particular, and that was fundamentals. At the time, some other coaches were trying to dream up all kinds of tricks and schemes and fancy plays, and Vince's philosophy was, we're going to beat you with blocking and tackling. Good blocking on offense, solid, strong, nasty tackling on defense. And so he believed that if his defense focused on the fundamental, if his team focused on the fundamentals, that there was no stopping them. And it's even told that to begin football practice every year, he would hold up a football and he'd say, "Men, this is a football." Because he didn't want them to overlook the basics, the fundamentals. And these, we're talking about guys that were the best in the world, the absolute best in the world of football. They were still focusing on the fundamentals. And so must number 4, I'm going to call it the Lombardi principle, being obsessed with the fundamentals of your business. Now, this does not mean that you shouldn't innovate. This does not mean that you shouldn't take risks. This does not mean that you shouldn't occasionally ignore rules and be innovative and different. You should do those things, but there are some fundamental core things that you should not abandon and that you need to keep in mind at all times. One thing that I always work on, whether I'm working one-on-one with a company and helping them craft their marketing or leading a mastermind group or speaking, I always address the 4 M's of marketing, and these 4 M's will never change. That's market, message, media, and maximization. So looking at your market, knowing them inside and out, having a message that's compelling and really speaks to the core of your market, and a message that gets people to take action, choosing the right media and understanding how media works and how to get the most out of it without wasting money or being inefficient, and then maximization. How do you take your customer relationships and get the most out of it, the most profit, the most benefit, and the most benefit also for your customers? I see some companies abandoning the fundamentals of a good, solid message. They ignore the open method that I teach in my training courses, the open method that gets people motivated and almost salivating for your product or service and gets them reaching for their wallets. I see a lot of companies that abandon the fundamentals of a good message. They try to take shortcuts here and it just does not work. I also see people making decisions, marketing decisions, ignoring simple human behavior and without an understanding of human nature. You can't really change human nature, and we shouldn't try to do that as marketers. One of my favorite quotes by the famous copywriter Eugene Schwartz was, "We don't create demand. As marketers, we do not create demand. We only channel existing demand." So we find the needs, the wants, the desires, the hopes, the dreams of our marketplace, and we show them that our product, our service is the perfect answer for those existing hopes, wants, dreams, and desires. And so we should never try to create demand, only channel existing demand. So what about you? What fundamentals have you abandoned? Are your people following up with prospects? Are you including an offer in every marketing piece that you have? Are you sticking to the fundamentals? Are you being rigorous with the fundamentals? Are you being the Vince Lombardi for your company? Because if you're not, you're likely missing big opportunities. So share this with your team. Focusing on the fundamentals may not seem exciting initially, but I'll tell you what winning is. And I guarantee you those guys on Vince Lombardi's team, they had a blast winning those Super Bowls and being so successful. So focusing on the fundamentals absolutely works. That's marketing must number 4. Until next time, happy marketing.